T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Welcome to WWT Live, the Monday edition. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things happened. I guess that's what, after shows are for. A lot of things happened on SmackDown that we have to definitely touch into. But just a lot of news. And I'm also multitasking. So one tweet. There we go. But let's bring in, with my 20 pages open, Mr. Bonner. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, there's a ton going on. How are you?
I'm good. It never fails. Like, I always try to, every time, like, I got a MacBook and I have my Safari open that has maybe 10 pages, if not more. And then of course, I had to double down, and now I have my Chrome open that has several pages, and I'm just kind of like, what? Anywho,
the queen of multitasking you are.
We are here. What do you have for us today?
Boy, there's a lot to kick off with. Let's start here. I think with Triple H now being head of creative, everybody is intrigued to either want to come back or to be a surprise. So one of the latest superstars to announce that he is teasing that he might be heading back is Lio Rush. Lio Rush, who, of course, spent some time in WWE from 2017 to 2020. He was a part of 205 Live and NXT. He had a great cruiserweight title run as well. And then, of course, was hooked up with Bobby Lashley as his manager for a while. That kind of went well. Then he got on some people's nerves, ultimately ends up leaving the company. He's retired a time or two, almost as much as Ric Flair, and he's actually come back probably as much as Ric Flair, but he's had more to offer. Sorry, I won't get stuck on Ric Flair. Anyway, Lio Rush sends out this tweet with him and Bobby Lashley, just kind of hinting that, he may be coming back. He's talked about the fact that it's a different place now and that he'd be open to a return. So it's possible, of all of the many surprises that we see under the Triple H era, one of them could involve Lio Rush. Now, what's interesting is obviously WWE is a different place now. Not just with Triple H in charge, but there's not a cruiserweight division. There's not a 205 Live. So it'd be interesting to see where he would fit into things. I think him running roughshod over NXT right now would be a great move if you're going to move NXT in a new direction. If he heads to Raw or SmackDown, I'm intrigued to see where he would fit in there. But yeah, he's talking about making a comeback. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see Lio Rush on WWE TV soon.
I mean, so I don't even know if we want to go with speculation. I'm going to pull up this tweet, which is a really nice picture, by the way. Here we go. I think that he's always been talented. I always
Yes.
reference the first time I was introduced to him. This is before I think he might have been on MLW at the time, and I saw
Sure.
him do a flip off a ladder, but it was like almost the top rung of the ladder, and I was like, who is this? And
Mhm.
so the talent is unquestionable. That's for sure. The locker room etiquette that we've heard about, that's the thing. And of course we don't know. We've heard rumblings here and there, but nothing official. Some people have referenced it, but I think he would be a great addition. He was one of those people, great mic skills.
Mhm.
One of those people who knows they have the talent and they have the mic skills, so they
Right.
don't give a F, which
Right.
is sometimes needed because it's entertainment television.
Yes.
And no shade to Bobby Lashley, but I feel like him having somebody with him in some capacity would be great. So,
Mhm.
that like it just I think it's a good idea all around. And I think with Triple H being head of creative, the people that he's brought in, it's a different type of, not to say they didn't respect Vince McMahon, but I feel like people will toe the line a little bit more because they also know that the benefit is a little bit more creative freedom over
Right.
their character. Not a lot,
Absolutely.
but
Right.
they can actually speak and it's not going to be shut down,
Right.
hopefully.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, those things make a difference. And it's interesting that you mentioned this. I think we're done with Lashley and Omos, but if that for some reason would pop back up, the idea of Leo Rush and MVP battling on the mic would be entertaining television. I
Mm-hmm.
think that'd be great. So I think there's an opportunity, and I think that's the thing, is that there are just opportunities abounding for a lot of people to potentially return to WWE with a completely new environment. And certainly we've seen returns even this weekend. So yeah.
This is very true. So we'll see what happens. Of course, it's all speculation. I guess it's nice to not speculate on the two individuals that we've been speculating on. Add
Right.
more people to the list. Why not?
Yes. Why not?
So we don't know, and I am definitely more apt to say that than this is a for sure thing, because you can't
It's not
erase
for
stuff.
sure until we
Yeah.
see them.
There it is. This is very true.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what else do you have for us?
Now, what is for sure is what happened on Friday. Now, I said this last week, and I feel like I'm saying it again, which means WWT Live is the space to be. We literally talked about the possibility of this last week here
Mhm.
on this show, and we kind of walked it through, not knowing that Friday night who would show up on our television screens, but Hit Row. And Hit Row made a huge return this Friday in a tag match. And to the surprise of some, but it's obvious, if Hit Row is back, only 3 members of Hit Row are there: Ashanti,
Right.
the Adonis, Top Dollar, and B Fab. And that happens obviously because the 4th member, Shane Strickland, is of course tag champion in AEW. Now,
Right.
what's interesting is, of course, Top Dollar, well, I'll talk about that in a second. Top Dollar went on to Busted Open Radio to talk about his return to SmackDown. And in there, he said something I thought was very interesting, that he basically hadn't been watching wrestling ever since Hit Row was released,
Mhm.
save about 10 minutes of the Royal Rumble. And part of the reason that he hadn't was he felt like every time he turned on the TV, he saw a spot that he believed Hit Row could be in. So it was too traumatic for him. He didn't watch. He did, however, stay in touch with Triple H. And apparently they had a great relationship. Of course, they worked together on a show. If you remember last year, A&E did their whole biographies with WWE, which, by the way, the new season of it is fire. But they also did a show about WWE's most valuable treasures, which in that show, Top Dollar was heavily featured, as he would be traveling to varying places to try to convince superstars to part with, some pretty iconic things that WWE could then store. Really, that's where a
Oh,
lot of
okay,
us
gotcha.
that's where we first saw Top Dollar. And then he appeared on NXT shortly after, and then Hit Row came to be a thing. So it's interesting. He's kept his relationship. Now, the other piece of news that I don't think a lot of people knew, I certainly didn't know when we were talking about this last week, is apparently these three are the original members of Hit Row, meaning Shane Strickland was actually not originally part of Hit Row. And most folks didn't know that because Shane Strickland ended up kind of being the lead,
guy.
Right, the guy from that. So that makes this even more interesting because now we get to finally see Hit Row as they were originally created to be. And a lot of people have speculated, hey, do we like it? Do we not? Shane Strickland let out a tweet on Friday night that certainly was approving of this debut for this crew. So I'm excited for them. And I think now with Shane Strickland not in the picture, they actually get a chance to shine on their own merit. And I think they're going to take full advantage of it.
Yeah, and I'm going to play this tweet that you sent us earlier. Whoops, we don't want a video file. Let's see here. Here we go.
They're seeing the same cornballs every week. It's TV. It's supposed to be entertaining. It don't matter though. It's all gonna end the same way, kid. 1, 2, 3, you're done. Head make us head, and you know we mean business. All up in your face, see
I
like
mean,
a dentist. Who we friend Bree, we a menace like Dennis. Got more bars than a lifetime sentence. Yeah, we old school. Some people say vintage.
Look,
they got it.
That gave me goosebumps. Like, here's the thing. For being 13% of America,
talk about it.
The fact that we can take something, flip it around, turn it upside down, and make it amazing is just like you've talked about Battle Slam. You talked about now seeing this, this version of them, and they haven't missed a beat. Which is interesting, the fact that you said, because I think a lot of people, and I don't know if I said it or somebody else said it in the chat or whatever, I might have said it, where it's just kind of like with Strickland, they might not be able to make it, but seeing that they stayed relevant throughout social media, like once even though they didn't watch WWE, which I definitely agree with. When I stopped running track, I don't think I've watched a full track meet, and it's been a minute since I retired. But the fact that they could come back, didn't miss a beat when they got let go. They're all throughout social media just making money. And then they come back, and that debut and that pop on Black Wrestling Twitter. I don't know about any other Twitter, but that pop was great. So I'm really interested to see on the main roster, because we are also talking about tag teams. Right. How there is certain tag team, like the men have a pretty good tag team, about 3 or 4 legitimate tag teams that we can call. And the rest of them are kind of, put together, and they're here for 2 years, they're here for 6 months, and then they're separated. But to see that, especially with the possibility of Street Profits not being a tag team, which I'm curious to see how that's going to look like in the next. Again, we have no idea, and this is a really fun time. I'll speak for myself, because we don't know what's going to happen, and that makes WWE even more interesting. I'm curious though to see the people that are little on the old school, like they like just pure wrestling and maybe WWE what it used to be, what they're thinking of these new additions and more additions that are about to be had.
Yeah, what's so interesting to me about Hit Row is Hit Row feels both old school and new school relative to WWE. Old school because WWE always liked a wrestler to have, by the way, they're using the term wrestling again. Sorry, just need to mention that. But they always liked a wrestler to have something else with them personality wise. And so if there was anybody, think about, you had Honky Tonk Man, right? You had all of these folks who liked to be musical or have something else going on with them. So that's not new. That's definitely old school. But what's new is how skilled they are. They always used to attach these musical things to folks who were not musical at all. So it was just kind of like, oh, great, here you go.
And that beat is fire. Like,
oh my gosh,
that's
so that's what's cool about this is you've got them as legitimate artists who are, you know, really doing some incredible things. And they stuck together. They stuck together when they were not in WWE. They did not allow WWE to just be a, you know, a whole thing where, okay, we're together there and now we have to go our separate ways. They did a few things on the indies, in GCW and a couple of other places. They made sure they remained connected so that when they came back, boom, you know, this was special. And really, even the pop that was in the arena was significant. Like, people were excited about Hit Row. And what's interesting about this is they didn't get a lot of time on their SmackDown debut when they first came up. So we never really got to see all that they could do, which means we don't have anything to compare it to when they were first there. That's actually good for them because it's like they're starting on a clean slate, really getting to do what they can do. And I like it because it's clear that they're still young. They're still not like top tier, but we get to watch them move that way. And that's what we like. We like to watch people, you know, make that ascension. And so I think we're going to get to see that. I don't know who they're going to end up battling, but there are enough folks there to make this compelling to be able to watch. And who knows where they go from there. But they've got a great combo together. And then it'll be interesting to see if B-Fab ends up just being kind of the hype girl, or if some point she ends up in the ring as well. The one time she did an NXT was not something we wanted to remember, but she was super green. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see if she decides to get in the ring, if that's in the cards, and what that looks like. But I'm excited to see something very significant for the culture in WWE, not watered down. It feels really, really good.
It does. So we have JD in the chat said, better than anything I heard Tekashi 6ix9ine do. Look.
I'm not even touching that.
He's out. I mean, let's not touch his music, but shout out to him. He's out there giving people in Mexico money and stuff. So he's doing some charitable stuff. Like, I mean, he out of jail. So
yeah.
And then Ty is saying that's not a high bar. Look, yeah, I agree with you, Gerard. We just doing wrestling, but you know, what is good to be said is that the job that they are doing is really well. So
right.
You know, shout out to them, and we'll see what happens. I do. I would love to see. Hopefully, B-Fab does get the skills her and Bianca go at. Like, I mean, there's so many different people, but yeah, we don't know. We'll see what happens.
We don't know. We will.
Now, a little bit of sad news before we have this other host come on. I think he was officially out. He'll give the story, but some sad news for this wrestler. What do you have with Kris Statlander?
Kris Statlander, one of my favorites from AEW, is now out again as she had a knee injury, and that knee injury happened as a result of a match against Sierra on Dark. Well, now she's noted that she's going to have surgery. She has a completely torn ACL and a lateral meniscus, which that's not good. It's not the first time this has happened. She recently posted a video of her trying to work out. But yeah, this is not good for someone who I think had such promise in AEW to really be a top women superstar. She had just come back. And in her comeback, it seemed like she was on a collision course eventually with Jade Cargill, potentially for the TBS title. And now certainly that's not to be. And we don't know how long she'll be out for this one. But yeah, I hope she can somehow heal up quickly after this surgery and make a comeback. No telling what the women's division is going to look like when she gets back. But yeah, certainly a speedy recovery wish for Kris Statlander.
And now we have Ron in the chat asking if it's the same leg.
I am not sure. I'm trying to double check that. They don't tell us that. Well, let's see. I don't know, because her previous one was the left ACL that she tore.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So no. So this is her right leg. So no, it's not the same one. Because what happened to her, she landed bad on her right leg in a match. So yeah, so the left one was torn in 2020 and now the right one is torn. So this is eek. Yikes.
I'm gonna
I don't like
the video too.
Yeah.
for you guys to see, just in case you haven't seen it.
Hey, it's me. This is the same exact reel that I just posted, but Instagram removed it because it said there was a copyright claim, and I'm assuming it's because of the song that I used. So I'm just going to talk over all of my random garage music for this entire thing. I'll put it in the caption as well. So if you are watching this without
you can see the
your
difference.
audio up, then you won't know what I'm saying, and you'll see why you're seeing this reel one more time with probably less interactions on it. But
yikes!
Yeah.
Well,
yikes indeed. So I hate this for her because, you know, again, she was really kicking it and killing it, especially during the pandemic, you know, and then she suffered an injury and now there's an audience, she can work, but another injury. So tearing the left and the right. Hopefully she comes back like, you know, Bionic Woman, having both of those things repaired. That'd be great.
Hopefully. So we have a host back in the building. He back. Kane McCoy. Well, I mean, you just said you was out for a week. You want to tell us what you was doing, what was happening with you?
He's muted.
You're muted.
Yeah. And he muted himself again
as well. I had to learn how to work a computer while I was out. I was off the grid, so I had to learn how to get used to technology. Clearly, I had a brachial plexus injury. So I was out dealing with that brachial plexus injury and also negotiating a new contract for Sasha Banks and Naomi, which we will talk about later in the show as well. But speaking of names and names returning, let's talk about possible new names. Well, old names, but old to us, but new to us, but kind of not really, because we just kind of forgot about them, even though we saw them somewhere else in the universe, but then come on another show in the same universe, but have different names. I'm talking about Doudrop, aka Piper Niven, aka Viper, for all of us indie wrestling fans out there who enjoyed her back in the day. But Doudrop spoke about possibly getting her name back of Piper Niven, which of course we heard in NXT UK. She was speaking with our guy Alex McCarthy of Mail Online and Inside the Ropes. She spoke about, you know, Triple H is here. Hey, we have a new permanent substitute teacher. Our old teacher's gone. So mid-year, we got the new permanent sub for Triple H. We got some changes coming, so we got some names coming back. And she spoke about it, saying that, you know, it was a little weird because when she first came in as Doudrop, she was bubbly and happy and essentially JoJo Siwa, I guess, doing cartwheels on the rope at WrestleMania entrance ramps, show parties as well. But, you know, she spoke about how she bought into it and, you know, then they turned her heel. And it was like, how can you be Doudrop as a heel? And now she's kind of with Nikki Ash and they're kind of doing this weird floating around. I think they should be tag champs, or at least the tag champs who take on the returning Sasha and Naomi. But she spoke about the trial and error and trying to figure out heel Doudrop. And I think heel Doudrop is better served as Piper Niven. She's a beast. I've loved Piper Niven from the first time I saw her back in TNA British Boot Camp. Watch it. You can watch it on Pluto TV. They show it over and over. But she was there. You see her Rockstar Spud and Grado and Nikki Ash. Nikki Glencross is there. Like, shouts to TNA and that British Boot Camp. That was very dope what they had there. But I've always been a big fan of what Piper Niven, Doudrop has done. So hopefully with the name change, that will help. Just like it will help with our scrappy dual little fighter, Butch, a.k.a. Pete Dunne. Ain't that right, G?
Well, we have Vincent in the chat saying, please change her name back to Piper Niven or Viper. Doudrop sounds so bad, which is...
Yeah, and Vincent, they spell it Doudrop, so that makes her like a Italian British pizza wrestler or something. She's going to take a slice out of you. It's Doudrop right there. That's Doudrop. But, you know, I hope this is the start of something great because I think she's really talented and Piper Niven can be presented as a true badass on a women's roster. We saw what happened with her and Bianca Belair. I thought that was a great feud. I would love to see that involving a title sometime in the future. But I think Piper Niven's really dope and I hope she can get her NXT UK name back because, like, we saw her. Like, you can watch Piper Niven against Rhea Ripley. Like, it happened on WWE television. So please, I hope that with Vince now just kind of lurking from the shadows like Sting, that we can also have some sense of crossover with all the shows that happen in this WWE universe.
I like it. I like it. What else do you have for us?
Well, I want to talk about just names in general. Because with this, if we're going to have the Dewdrop name returning, then let's get some first names back for my guy, Austin Theory, whenever he returns on television. And then we got Pete Dunne, who's going to hopefully be Pete Dunne again and not that scrappy dude Butch. And of course, our guy also returning back from a brachial plexus injury, Matt Riddle. Like, he's Matt Riddle. We know he's Riddle. And the thing that always makes me upset about these name changes within WWE is the fact that they're changing WWE names anyway. They're already WWE names. So I would love to see these guys revert. And Kaylee Ray was actually somebody who I want to see return as well. Listen, Alba Fry, num num num. Well, I guess because she's Scottish, so it'll be Alba Chips. But like Alba Fire, what do we call her? That's Kaylee.
Oh wait,
Ray.
I had something for you. Just
okay. Thank you. Okay. No expense is too much here at WWT Live, baby. But I would love to see that, and that's actually good, Anthony. I like that. We can get some clarity. Hell, even throw like Drew McIntyre in there somehow to just have that. We need more acknowledgement of what we can see on happening on television, and I think with Triple H, we're going to start to have that a little more. Like, why not kind of have that Scottish rub between Dewdrop, Kaylee Ray, and Nikki Cross, and maybe sprinkle some Drew McIntyre. Like we've all seen it happen. So, you know, I think that'd be dope to see. So let's our names are our names. Thank you, Ron. Alba Chips, because they don't say fries, they say fish and chips. And Mandy Rose called her Alba Fry. So it's a whole
boy.
Just follow the angle here. Just follow.
Yeah, it is interesting. So we have JD also in the chat saying, never understood the naming session on Austin Theory. Like, it's just kind of like, or they would lose their last name. It's just kind of like you were just saying, Kane. It's just like, so why?
Yeah.
Like too many syllables for the announcers. Like, what's the reason behind it?
We even get in like the referee names in finally, which is pretty exciting. I think there was one ref what he mentioned the other day, and I was like, I seen that brother 11 times. I didn't even know he had a name. I just thought he was like Black Generic Ref 2 or something like that. But they said his name, and I was like, oh, he has a whole name. Look at that. I thought he was Black Generic Ref number 2.
Speaking of names, I'm hearing that Garza has now returned to Angel Garza. And that Humberto Carrillo is supposed to be getting his name back as well. So go get your inheritance, get your name back.
I mean, when did WWE become Roots? Taking names. Yo, name.
Well, they've been think about that. They've been doing that for years. I mean, shoot, Tony Atlas one time was Saba Simba. I mean, like they've been taking names forever. Yeah. So yeah, it's, you know, I'm glad people are getting their names back.
I get that Vince wants the ownership, but again, it's too much when they have a WWE name and then they change the WWE name that like they either shorten it, get rid of it, or change it completely, and it's just like we synced you. Like we synced you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how do you double dip, but hell, you know what? Maybe knowing with everything that's happened now with being $20 million in the hole, there was a reason why Vince was double dipping. He's like, okay, I can make money off of Pete Dunne and Butch. I can make money off of this and that. Then hell, then like maybe we know. Like I'm shocked Vince McMahon didn't become like Von Quarius McMenius or something. Like he just change his name too. Change everybody's name.
It's funny though. The Butch thing always threw me because I'm like, did you forget about Butch the Bushwhacker? Like, I mean, we've used this name before. It's rare that we're recycling names at this point. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see once Pete Dunne start licking heads.
Well, there is something that we were both supposed to go to last Thursday, Kane, that we both didn't make it to. One because you were out for injury, and I was producing Creep Squad After Dark. Was the WrestleMania kind of what were we calling it?
It's a launch party.
Yeah, it was the launch party. the WrestleMania launch party, which looked incredibly lit. It was in our backyard here in LA. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it, or it probably would have been a super spreader event, asterisk, if I would have showed up. But could you imagine like Jey Uso getting COVID and I'm just sitting there like, I wonder how that could have happened.
Well, how would he have gotten that? You had a different injury.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it wasn't my injury, but anyway, but yeah, it was really dope. It looked really cool. And I marked out when I saw Montez Ford holding the WWE championship.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I was like, oh my God, he's holding the belt. Because they had like a technical issue. They had like a technical thing and the mic wasn't working, so they had to stall time. And then they were going to present one of the championship belts to like some charity company. And in the middle of Montez was kind of holding it and giving his thank you speech in the midst of his, because he's an Army veteran. Shouts to Montez Ford. I'm a Navy veteran. Of course, all veterans serve for the free Applebee's on Veterans Day. It's the only reason why we joined. You're like, Freeman's on Veterans Day. You should have led with that. But anyway, so Montez in the midst of trying to do a twofer. Oh, no, stop that.
Thank you.
Don't you womp womp, America. Womp womp, America. But Montez was like doing a twofer and giving his speech while holding the title. And everyone was like taking screen grabs of it like, the future. There you go. So, I like to see that. But tickets went on sale, right, TK?
Tickets have gone on sale. Woo, y'all in the comments. Jay's like, get another. Wow, y'all just, is this what we do? This is what we doing on Monday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what we doing on Monday.
Wow. Well,
I mean, that's also a championship. You know what I mean? That's number one right there.
So we have,
but I'm a gentleman.
JG in the chat saying you didn't mark out when you saw Montez Ford holding Bianca Belair. What's wrong with you? Y'all kind of fire in the chat I say this morning, but okay.
Look at Vicente's comment. Wow. Okay.
Will Big E get his Langston back? That's good, Danny. I don't know if he needs his Langston at this point.
I don't think so. It's been such a long period of time.
Yeah. I don't know that he needs that back, but that's interesting.
Yeah, but, I think with Big E, if Big E just became E, then it's like, come on, dog. You got my man out here being just an alphabet. I mean, he's an alpha male, but just being an alphabet.
I think we'll just be so glad to see him that
that's true.
We'll just be glad to see him. So, but yeah, you guys were talking about Mania tickets. They have gone on sale, and WWE is very happy about the very first day of ticket sales. They are calling it the highest first day of WrestleMania ticket sales ever, as they sold 10,000 in combo tickets for both nights with pre-sales and about 1,000 tickets for each night individually, which is really significant if you think about that. I mean, this is a big deal, and the combo package, of course, is 2 nights, so it's literally double the price. So to think that 10,000 folks already went in on that is a big deal. So SoFi seats about 70,000, but of course with seats and the like, they can expand that to about 100,000. So this is going to be the real test. If they've sold 10,000 already for both nights and then 1,000 each night, we're talking 11,000 each night. They are 10% of the way there this early. We don't know anything about the card. That's actually really exciting to see. And to put that into perspective, that's a quarter of the people who showed up for SummerSlam. They did it in one day.
Already got it done. I mean, listen, WrestleMania goes Hollywood, baby. You know what I mean? And this is a WrestleMania that is about 2 years delayed because, again, somebody had to cough, and allegedly had a bat or whatever happens. Listen, we're past that now. Let's move forward. But, this is WrestleMania that prime and ready. People are waiting for it. Of course, the rumors of what could possibly happen. Could we get Roman, Rock? Could we get Cena and Theory maybe here and not SummerSlam? They're going to pull out all the cards. I'll see you guys in section 500. I'll be just right below heaven. It'll be me and God. It won't be Backlash 06, and Shawn Michaels will maybe be there, but God will be my tag team partner. He'll be my other person there. But tickets are very expensive. I didn't know when to buy them, but we're going to find a way. Maybe we can find like a WWT live GoFundMe.
Or you could use it using your WWE credit card.
Listen, I did try to pay with it with my WWE Superstar credit card, but clearly, if you watch the show, I spent a lot of money on other stuff. So
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah. I will not be in the nosebleed sections. If that's an option for me, I will probably be. I don't know. I might have a watch party, or I might go somewhere to watch, but I can't. I don't do nosebleed. And then that amount of people, just that amount of people. That's a lot. That's a lot of folks. That's a lot of waiting. I told you, Gerard, today how I literally, to keep myself. I guess that's my thing now. To keep myself patient, I play 50 Cent's "Patiently Waiting" song to remind me that I need to patiently wait, so I don't go. So me to patiently wait to get out of the stadium or go to the bathroom or get something to eat. I like that. That's a little unnerving for me. I guess harken back to my iHeart days. I was a little spoiled with getting tickets. And stuff, so, yeah.
And you never know. We have a lot of time. You just never know how we'll end up at WrestleMania, but I think we will.
And I think too, the thing with this is a destination spot. Like I remember wanting to go to LA and Disneyland in Florida when I was a child. Did I ever go? No, I had West Indian parents. That's not. We are going to the islands for the holidays and or New York. That was those were the two options, and that was your childhood. So I think for a lot of people who haven't been to Los Angeles ever, this is the perfect time. Like you get to see wrestling, then you also get to see, Los Angeles. Mind you, people who are watching the show who are not familiar with LA, the stadium is in Inglewood. So if you want to see Hollywood and all that other stuff, it's a little different. However, if you are, part of the culture and you want to see the Insecure House, it's down the street. Randy's Donuts, Roscoe's Chicken. There's a lot of stuff you could see in Inglewood. But if you want to see the everything that you see on television, it's quite a ways away from the stadium. But if you make it like a week and a half thing, or you try to cram some stuff out into a 2-day period, you can get to different parts in LA, deal with a little bit of traffic, and still go and see the show and all this other stuff. So I think it's also a destination spot for a lot of folks.
I'm excited. Because that whole week's gonna be lit. There's gonna be obviously ROH involvement. Well, who knows if they do like a super card of honor that weekend. Impact's gonna do something, all type of indie shows, obviously the shows that are here. Maybe WoW might mess around and do something.
I was just thinking about that too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this could be like the biggest, literally the most stupendous, biggest ever WrestleMania ever, you know what I mean? Because it's the perfect time. Everyone's fiending for it, so it's gonna be 2 nights. I'm definitely excited. Yes, that's right, Danny. Mania indie shows are finna be very wild. You know what I mean?
And we alluded to this last week. That's part of the fun of going to Mania, right? It's not just Mania. It's all of the unpredictable things that can happen, during Mania week. I harken back. I'm gonna take you back a little ways to WrestleMania 24. I know it was a little while ago, but they were just starting to do a bunch of indie shows there, and there were random occurrences that were happening. So it was in Orlando, and as part of the package that WWE gave to some of us, we got 2-day tickets to Universal Hollywood in Orlando. But what was happening that day, Impact was doing tapings. And Impact was doing free tapings. So I literally met Rey Mysterio before he was signed to WWE with no mask on, just hanging out, right? AJ Styles before he signed, just hanging out. And I mean, and then you go into the free tapings and you had Sting and Kevin Nash, and it was crazy. And then across the street from Mania, Impact had again set up this meet and greet situation where you could meet Jay Lethal and take pictures, and it's madness. It is pure madness. So you are likely to see anybody anywhere doing anything during that particular weekend. So to your point, TK, it really is a vacation type of thing. It's not just like a random show, so you kind of prepare yourself to spend money. You prepare yourself, and that's okay. right? Because it's mania, and these kinds of manias don't happen every day. So,
Right.
I think that they'll definitely make it worth the trip.
Yeah. And Vincente with the hot tip saying for long cards, eat before. I definitely someplace. Look,
Listen, eat
lines are
during.
clear.
I'm gonna bring my snacks in. I stop by Dollar Tree.
I don't think
Like,
you
hey
can
man,
bring,
Yeah,
if you can't
they're
bring
very
snacks
strict
to
about
Staples
that.
Center, I'm sure you can't bring snacks into SoFi.
I got low blood sugar. I'm a diabetic.
Yeah,
That's
but
nonsense.
but don't they have
Science.
those clear bags that if you're gonna bring a bag, you got to bring the clear bag so they can see what's in
Yeah.
there. They're not gonna let you.
And I'll be having the Skittles in the clear bag. It'll be right there. I'll be like, yeah,
wow.
this it. I'm a diabetic. I got low sugar. What y'all gonna do?
Wow.
Don't fight
Apparently
science.
Skittles, you shouldn't have Skittles anymore. Apparently it's like a recall. It's like a comparison to almost dog food. Did you see that study?
Yikes.
They just
Really,
came out with it.
Skittles
Yeah.
is like dog food. Well, then roof, homie.
What? Oh,
I love me some Skittles. Bark in this bit.
He's on a roll. He's
Yeah,
on a
that's
roll.
what happened.
on
It's
a
been a
roll.
week. It's like butter. I have to come back. I have to work through it. Just give me some time. Unfortunately.
I think we talked about this last week there, where Mary Miller, she was bringing the heat. I think you're talking about the Sasha Banks quote. Did we talk about that last week?
I don't think we did, but let's find it, shall we?
Oh yeah, she I think let's find
Because the whole Sasha thing is, and again, like nothing's been confirmed yet about them signing contracts. I know we
that's
spoke
what I'm
about
saying.
it
I don't
on the show.
want to talk
It's
about
just-
it because
Yeah, speculation at this point, and everyone's kind
Yes.
of like reading and everything, and hopefully like a fake Dave Meltzer account where the L's like an I or like somebody else like gets you got. So
Wait, there's like a whole different issue. Have y'all heard about this?
What's the new?
So apparently Amari Miller is apologizing for some tweets she made about Sasha.
yes.
So apparently she posted last Wednesday calling Ember Moon the first and only African-American NXT Women's Champion, saying that her goal was to become the second. So people obviously went in on her to say, hey, how about Sasha? And so she replied to someone that, oh, this is lovely. She replied to someone that Sasha is German and black and not African-American. So she then went on to deactivate her account after receiving backlash from these tweets. She returned to Twitter. She apologized, writing that she meant something super well and it came across horribly. Here's her exact quote. It said, I didn't mean bad intentions with what I had said, but I do want to apologize. I meant something super well. It came across horribly. I want to sincerely apologize to everyone. I also have to understand that posting on a social media platform can sound one way to me as I'm typing and come across totally different, but that's lessons learned for sure. People
But what
make
did she
mistakes.
mean though?
No, it kind of sounded like how you typed it. It sounded
like I'm not sure what the alternate meaning is to Ember being the first NXT African American Women's Champion, and Sasha's not African American because she's German and black.
Yeah, but at first, okay.
I mean, this is why we do our research, right? So that we don't say things. And the simple thing is, if you get it wrong, apologize, right? Like say, oops, my bad, I missed it.
But that's the frustrating part about stuff that's said behind closed doors versus putting it out there. And I understand that she's young, and there might be certain things, especially, I've been doing a lot of research as far as textbooks in schools, and that's, the American education system is. But anyways, I think we're adding also colorism into it.
Sure.
And that's, I mean, it's very obvious if you're lighter skin, there's like a mix, but there are some dark skinned people who are mixed with. My mom passes as white. You wouldn't guess that. Wow. So, or can pass. She don't, when you talk to her, she clearly is not. But it's one of those things where, I know why she made it. And those are the conversations that we have amongst our people at the cookout.
Right.
Not to say that it's right or not, but it's just kind of like, what else could you have said that was mistaken. Like, it would have been like if there was a word or something, but I think as Black folks, we all know what she was trying to say, and that's still not good. Colorism, whether it's, negativity towards light-skinned folks or the other way around, it's still not good at all, because we're all dealing with the same problems. Might be a little different steps here and there. It's all the same problems, though.
I think the other thing that people have to remember is the term African American is really another euphemism for Black. So it's not necessarily referring to you came from the continent of Africa and you have American mixed in you. Therefore, so if she was trying to say, she's got German and Black, if that's what she was trying to say, the problem with it again is understanding that when people look at you, they don't look and see Caribbean. They don't see from Sierra Leone. They don't see, you're from Ethiopia. They say you're a person of color. And so they refer to you as Black, and they'll call you African American because they're referencing the color of your skin and not your actual heritage.
Right. I get that all the time. And
yeah,
nah.
Per the census. Per the census, really, is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's one of those things where, like, okay, if Sasha does have German, that doesn't negate her for being African American.
Correct.
Like her German, ancestry, that 2%, whatever it is. I didn't know Mari Miller's gimmick was that of a genealogist, apparently, but that doesn't negate anything. And I think it's just misguided and really pointless. It has nothing to do with anything. We just happy to be winning these championships and be up happy and moving forward. We're about moving forward, Miss Miller.
Right.
So hopefully this was a situation. I did see Amari Miller trending, and I was like, oh, that's who made that Billie Eilish song, but that's the rapper Armani White. So whoops, my bad. Future member of Hit Row, possibly. Who knows? Don't womp me, not womp Armari. But anywho, like this is corny, and I just hope that Amari does learn from this, because I never once looked at Sasha Banks and didn't think anything except Black. So
well, the fact that they made a big deal between her and Bianca, two Black women, like are you gonna skip over that? I mean, because that was a big deal. And then Ty's bring up a good thing with The Rock. Like, I don't recall him, and I'm sure there is some videos, but I think he claims both. And why can't you claim both? Why can't you say that you're Samoan and you're Black? Or why can't you say, okay, I'm German and I'm Black? Like,
we're the only ones that can't claim multiple things. Like, if you talk to anybody else, they'd be like, yeah, I'm Irish, I'm German, I'm Cherokee, I'm this, I'm that. Bro, you got two. How many parents you got? You thought you had two parents. How many parents you got? But like Black folk, we just Black. That's it. That's all we can be, Black. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times because we can't
in North America
because of history.
Other countries are not like that.
Oh, here in America, exactly. You know what I mean? Because me and TK, you and I had these songs, and I've been like, word, okay, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. And I've been to England, I've been to London, and they're like, yeah, man, you Americans are something else. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no European American, but there's African American. It doesn't make any sense. So, not to dive too much into the race thing per se, but I think when it comes to this, as much as we look at now women's wrestling as no longer being a special attraction, but being the meat and potatoes of an event, we also need to look at Black wrestlers as a whole has not been a special attraction. Oh, that's a dope Black wrestler. That's a dope wrestler who happens to be Black and is making history that is long overdue. So shouts to Sasha, shouts to Bianca, and shouts to Amari, and hope you can grow from this and you can create some first.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think it just harkens back to the fact that I don't know if she went to college or not, but I took a crap ton of African American studies, and I learned a lot. And my dad was very big into all that type of stuff prior to that. But I think it just stems from ignorance and not knowing. Like I feel like you wouldn't make that. And again, I'm sure we've all been at the cookout, especially if you have those cookouts where your family rate. Like if you look at the totality of my family, my dad, my brother, myself, and my mom, we are all 4 different colors. So if you've been at some of these cookouts where everybody's Black, but everybody is not the same. Like, it is what it is, but we'll move off of that.
Looking like the Banks family. Yeah, y'all go out here. Yeah, Caribbean
And
Banks.
What did you tweet about Jade now?
Just click that link real quick.
Oh,
It's so funny because Jade Cargill had a tweet today that says, "Just found out that I'm the first Black woman on the cover of a wrestling video game." So we shall stand by for Amari Miller's response to that. Amari Miller's like trending, like she's like trying to figure out Jade Cargill's ancestry.com background. Actually, Jade Cargill,
she's actually, I think she's Jamaican, or has half Jamaican.
I think she's got some Jamaican in her. I think so.
Yeah. So looks like Jade Cargill's going to be on the cover of AEW's Fight Forever. So looks like
that's pretty dope.
On top of there. So yeah,
that is definitely well deserved.
Well deserved.
I don't know. We'll find out if she. Well, I think Amari has learned her lesson.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's. You have to keep that business within the cookout. You can't be putting
keep that back there. Keep that back there.
We've all had those conversations one way or another. So it is what it is. With that being said, that marks the end. Wow. Y'all really just hit me in the chat today.
They are spicy.
I know.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Like Amari's gonna sign up to be a baddie just to like be around Jade and take a follicle for a sec.
What in the world?
Well, there it is. Well, thank you all in the chat for coming in. It definitely was. I couldn't get to all because you guys were spitting the fire. So we have Bear Hudson, we have Ron, JD, Vincente. I think you're new to the chat. Anthony.
What's up,
so thank you guys for joining and commenting. And then we also had Danny. So thank you for doing that. Your comments were definitely appreciated. They were a little spicy. I tried to.
We like spicy.
Yeah, we do.
Like it. Yeah, you're in tune out here. Yes.
Bear is saying great news. I don't know if y'all want to
doing it.
No, we're not doing it, Bear.
Nope.
Bear, you better not be trolling. You said that earlier, I believe.
Yeah,
he did say that earlier. That's why I ignored it.
Yeah, I feel like
we would not bear witness to your lives.
But not lies, just speculation.
To your speculation.
We have to wait till WWE puts something out, and or we see Naomi and Sasha posting something on their social media. I did see that Naomi was headed to Los Angeles. I don't know if it was like what type of trip it was, a connection or whatever. But and or if we see them literally on a show.
When I see them on my TV,
we've been taught, like literally every time somebody gets added to WWE roster or anything, then you see Sasha and Naomi trending. It's so hilarious. And I love seeing it because who doesn't like to be, trended for good things? You want them back. But Bear, I understand your excitement, and I would be excited too. However, if you go back to our beginnings of the show, we went down the rabbit hole of Sasha and Naomi, and we've done it. We would be happy, and we'll leave it.
We talk about she might end up in New Japan. Now that might change. That might be the polar opposite, Bear, because you're a bear, and it's the polar.
Cue it up. Thank you.
Let's just play it again for you.
Yeah.
How much money
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Kane. I don't know if you have to get back to therapist or or whatever. But tell everybody where they can find you.
It's a lot of therapy: physical, mental, spiritual, all type of therapy. Follow me at Kane McCoy, CainMcCoy. I'm gonna jump back on social media and investigate where Black women's wrestlers come from. I'm gonna be very inspired by Amari Miller now, so I'm gonna find all their genealogy.
Wow. All right.
I'll post the results.
Are you like going to list every Black female wrestler and then
post the results? And I'm going to pay for it using the premium ancestry.com, which I'm going to buy using my WWE superstar credit card. I love it.
So are you going to get you're gonna get their samples and then send it to, and that sounds like a possible lawsuit.
You can't spoil the angle. You can't tell the angle yet. You can't tell the payoff. So stay tuned.
All right, Mr. Bonner,
I can't really compete with that at all. You can find me, of course, at Bonnerfied on all the socials. You can follow the podcast at The Faction Show. Of course, we've got Southern Honor Wrestling happening, which you can check out on IWTV. Battle Slam will be premiering on Fight TV in just a few days, from what I'm told. I'm really looking forward to that, and that's going to be fun. We debuted Championship District Wrestling last night here in Atlanta. That was amazing. You'll be able to check out the full show on their YouTube page coming, I believe, this week. So lots of fun things happening. I'll sneak this one in for you. You ready? August 27th, I'll be doing some work at the Nightmare Factory for their next graduating class. So you'll be hearing commentary for that coming soon. And I think Class 6 is supposed to be released as well. And I did some commentary there also. So all kinds of cool things happening. And yeah, so just make sure you're following us at, well, you got to come to the next one. I'll let you know when it is. I'd love to see you there. Make sure I meet you. Okay. So that'll be fun, Danny. But yeah, make sure you follow me at Bonnerfied for all of that information.
And last comment before we get out of here, Tiki's going to have to work cut out with the womp switch. I will invest, make
her work that wrist. Look at the flick of the wrist.
How often comes on, but definitely I downloaded it just for him. But
beautiful.
That's what makes the show what it is. Different personalities, and Kane is back.
Unfortunately, yes.
For his future. So here we are, and to see all of our shows, because we do have a lot of after shows today. Today is the Raw after show. You can check out you can check out WW Talk Pod on our website. All the shows are there. Check out YouTube, Twitch. You can also check out our social media at WW Talk Pod. TikTok is really blowing up, WW Talk, and you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. The show, our new show, if you're new to our show, is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao, y'all.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.